welcome to Katrina's Creations. Today is episode 351-ish, I think. So, I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. We had an interesting Christmas. I mean, it was a good one, but my son and daughter-in-law and their kids were supposed to be coming in from Ohio, and one of them got sick, so the trip has been postponed. I'm actually filming this on Thursday because they are coming in this evening to visit with us over New Year's. So we'll just be celebrating Christmas with them a little bit late, but thankfully I think everybody's well at this point on all portions of the family. So yeah, that was our Christmas, but otherwise it was good. We had a great time. So let's get started with my works in progress. I have one semi-finished object because I did finish the front of the cardigan that I'm making, the scrappy cardigan. So that is this left front here. And I actually did this edge, which is the one that will be closest around my neck here. I tapered it in so that it's not like right up against my neck. So there it is. And then of course it's going to get edging on it. Then I started the other side, and the first thing I did was make a major faux pas, because when you do a mitered square, because of the way they get attached, because you attach as you go, you don't sew them together when you're done. You always start in the bottom left corner because you are starting your stitches, if I can hold this up a little easier, you are starting your stitches on this edge, and then it miters to this section. So when you start the next one over, you're going to come across like this, miter it here, and so on. When you start your second row, you you pick up stitches here and along this bottom established row, and then that becomes your miter up to this end. And then of course you pick up stitches here and here and here and here and so forth. Katrina messed up, wasn't thinking. I started, where did I put it? Here it is. I started the top row first. So this is the top row to the other side right here. However, I can't miter it because if you look at this, if I started my next row, I would be adding stitches here and here. There's nothing to miter to. It has to attach to something. So I have the top row done. It's going to have to just be sewn on when I finish. So then I realized what I did, and I actually started where I should have started, and so I have these done. So this is the bottom of it. So I've done a lot of squares though, because there's 8 here, and there is 7.5 here, and this one was a little tricky to figure out because of course you're coming across here, you're doing your miter, but because it has to be angled here, I actually was mitering here and decreasing every other row here in order to make it look right, because I didn't want to just fold it over. So yeah, so I have a total of 17.5 squares that I did this past week. That was a lot, yes. So yeah, 7.5 on the one and 8 on the other. That's not 18.5 or 17.5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're right, 7.5 and 8. It's 15.5, not 17.5. Yes, 15.5. I homeschooled my children. Isn't that scary? But anyway, so yeah, that was the one project. And some of you had asked about, I'm going to be edging it with the black that I was turning into the cowl that I didn't have enough yarn for. And some of you were questioning whether I should do that or not because it might be scratchy. You're right, it might be scratchy. However, I'm thinking it's not going to be right on my neck. Around my wrists, it doesn't bother me. It only seems to be that it bothers me when it gets around my neck. Other stuff that would be scratchy, it never really bothers me at the wrist, just sensitive areas like my neck And since I have tapered it down some, I'm thinking it's going to be like a V-neck type of thing. So I don't think it's going to be horrible. And one of you also mentioned, reminded me about washing it in conditioner, that might help as well. So yeah, that's the plan at this point, unless I change it, which could happen, you never know. The next project I am working on is Tunisian crochet. And I'm doing the honeycomb stitch. This is the pattern I tried doing with the black, and I didn't have enough yarn. I went through the entire first skein and there was no way 2 skeins were going to take it all the way around my neck. So this is, you can see the pattern so much better now. This is the honeycomb pattern. It is Tunisian crochet. And the yarn I'm using is actually thicker than what I was using with the alpaca. This is, they're calling it a fingering, I think, or DK. I'm leaning more towards like a DK. It's heavier than fingering, but it's not as heavy as worsted. So see if you can see this. And this yarn was some I purchased when I was up in Maine on vacation. I got it at Harbor Yarns. It is a hand dyer. All she dyes is blue yarns because it's like ocean. And this, I forget the exact name of this. I will put it here what the name of this yarn is, what the colorway is. But I believe it was like a DK weight. And yeah, it's Harbor Yarns. And it is a, so it says it's 100% wool, but it almost, it's very, very smooth and very soft. It almost feels like it has merino in it. It doesn't say that it does. It is kettle dyed, so it is tonal, and you can see that. And it's kind of a denim color, so I thought it would go with a lot. It would go with grays, it would go with blues. So, yeah, today is kind of a gray and blue day. You'll see why when I show you my next project, because this would actually match it pretty well. This is, I started a crochet project. It might be getting ripped out because, I'll explain, this was a poncho sort of serape type of thing that I had done in Tunisian crochet years ago. It lived in the tub of shame, which is where any of my projects that I don't have the nerve to rip apart live until I get around to it. I ripped this apart and I'm now making this into a vest. So I'm loosely basing it on a pattern I found on Yarnspirations. It was called a cable loop vest, but I'm not doing, which meant it had like loops and you kind of braided them together down the front. I'm not doing that just because I don't need any fluff in this area whatsoever. It also had it around the waistband. I didn't want it there. So this is the vest, and you start from the bottom up, and it's all crocheted as one piece until you get underneath the arms. However, I don't know what yardage I have because, of course, I have no ball bands for this anymore, so I don't even know what the yarn is. I do believe it had some wool in it, but here we go, gray and blue again. Like I said, it's gray and blue day. Now I only have 3 skeins of the blue, and the blue is more like a bulky, the gray is a worsted. I have no idea why I combined these to begin with. They do look nice together because the bulky has, there you can see it has almost the same color of gray in here. And when it's put together, it really doesn't show that it's 2 different weights. It kind of gives some texture to it. But I only have 3 skeins of the blue, and I have, I think, 3 or 4 skeins of the gray, but they're larger skeins. Well, they're rolled up into balls. I have larger balls of the gray than I do of the blue. And this has already used 1 entire ball of the blue. So I only have 2 left. There's no way this is going to be big enough for a vest. So I'm going to, I think, take this out, and I'm going to put more rows of gray between the rows of blue. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing, just because it's not going to make it otherwise. And I know that I have enough yarn to do this with, because like I said, the Tunisian crochet, it was basically like I said, similar to a poncho. It was like a big rectangle that wrapped over your shoulders and then buttoned down the front. So between all that yardage, I should have enough in theory, but I just don't have as much blue. I need to put more gray in between the rows of blue. So that is what I have been working on this week. What have you been working on? Now, we had during the beginning of December all the way through the 24th, well, the 24th and 25th were combined. I did Vlogmas. If you missed that and would like to see what I did, it had some activities each day that I was doing. And it also, I had a yarn unboxing, which is what these are being made from. There's a yarn unboxing, and there's also a fiber unboxing. So, yeah, if you missed those and you want to check them out, you can click the link right here and that will take you over to it. And speaking of that, that's what Wednesday's video is going to be, is I'm going to be lining up all of the fiber that I got for spinning, and I'm going to be putting it in the order that I think I'm going to spin it in, and then I'm just going to like number the bag that it's in so I know what order everything goes. So that's going to be Wednesday's video. And also for next Christmas, if you enjoyed the Yarn Advent Calendar and watching what I got each day, I'm going to put together a Yarn Advent Calendar for me and whoever else is interested for next year, if you would like to receive your own Yarn Advent Calendar. Now the cost for these, you will get 25 mini skeins. You have a choice of 5-gram or 10-gram balls. You would get 25 of whichever size you choose. And the cost for them, the 25-gram ones are going to cost $25, and the 10-gram balls would be $50 because you're getting twice as much yarn. So if you are interested, you can let me know over at KatrinasCreations@yahoo.com. I know we just finished Christmas, but I want to make sure that I do a decent job with these, and I'm going to be working on them throughout the year. They will consist of some yarn that I already have, and as well as some yarn that I'm going to dye and put in there. It's going to be fingering weight wool yarn. So, like I said, if you are interested, send me an email along with what gram size you are interested in, or you can message me over on Facebook and let me know at Katrina Knits. Just message me there. That way I know ahead of time how many people are interested, so I know how much yarn I'm going to need for this. So yeah, so we have that going on. So what am I reading? Well, I finished A Twisted Skein, which was by Sally Goldenbaum, and that is part of the Seaside Knitters mystery series, and it's a group of 4 ladies of all different age groups. One owns a yarn shop. The other is a lobster woman. She does lobster fishing. I guess you call it fishing, but she's a lobster person. Yeah, lobster fisher person. You know what I mean. She gets lobsters. That's what she does. She runs a lobster business. And then the other is the aunt of the yarn owner, and she's in her 50s to early 60s. And then the last lady in the group is in her 80s. So it's a wide age group of these 4 ladies, and they solve mysteries in the fictional town of Sea Harbor, which is somewhere up in Massachusetts, kind of based around the Gloucester, Salem area, Marblehead, right in that area. So there's like 14 books in the series, and they're very enjoyable. And this one was good as usual. So yeah, finished that. And now the one I'm going to be starting is it's called the Knit and Nibble mystery series. It's by Peggy Earhart. I have read all of her other ones before, so this one is called Knitmare on Beach Street. So Knitmare on Beach Street. There are some crochet mystery series that I follow as well, but they haven't put a crochet mystery out for a little bit yet. So the ones I'm reading right now are all knitting related, but they're fiber, they're yarn, we like it, and the mysteries are good. So anyway, that's what I am going to be reading. We also are coming up close to, at the time of this filming, we're only 24 people away from our next 100 subscribers. And if you've been with my channel any length of time, every 100 subscribers, we do a giveaway, which usually involves yarn. Actually, it like almost always involves yarn. So if you haven't already, click that little red subscribe button down below here and click the bell-shaped icon next to it, and then click all. That'll let you know anytime I post a video. And I have heard that some people have been, from other channels, I have heard that people have gotten unsubscribed for some reason or another. So if you are subscribed, you might want to just double check, make sure you still are actually subscribed to me, in case for some reason some glitch happened and you're not subscribed anymore. But anyway, as soon as we hit 4,700 subscribers, we will be doing another giveaway. Now it's time for... Now in the Come and Get It section, at this point, I'm going to insert video after this telling you the other sales I run across, because like I said earlier, I'm filming this on Thursday and the sales don't change until Friday. So the sales that I do know is going on right now is Knit Picks, and until the 31st, they are running their Knit Picks palette yarn at 20% off. Which is a 100% Peruvian Highland wool. It's a fingering weight yarn, and it comes in like over 100 and some different shades. So it's nice yarn. I use it a lot. But anyway, that is going to be yeah, running. That's their yarn of the month. So that will be ending on December 31st. They also are running up to 30% off of their luxury yarns. You choose a... You'll see the link down below. If you click on it, it will take you over to, you can choose some that are 10% off, 20% off, or 30% off. It kind of just depends on the yarn. But anyway, their luxury yarns are up to 30% off, and that is good until the 9th of January. So that one's running for quite a while. So those are the sales that I know of. I will now insert a little footage of any other sales I've run across. So that is it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you come back on Wednesday to see what order I put all the fiber that I got so I can begin spinning it. I hope you all have a wonderful new year and a safe new year, and I will see you again on Wednesday. Bye, everybody.